Hi everyone, this is Allison Messick responding to week 1. Never know where I'm supposed to be looking when we do these, so sorry if I'm looking that way, or that way instead of that way. That way. Responding to the question of whether or not mutual threat perceptions between the Middle East and the West are realistic. And first we were supposed to evaluate what those threats are. First of all, the threat is always about a way of life. And I believe that in the Middle East, there is a perceived threat to the Islamic faith and all of its tenets. It's all encompassing because Islam is the government. Islam is the lifestyle and the faith and the system. And I think there's a threat of secularization and modernization. Those are the two primary threats. Are they exaggerated? I can say that I believe that they are, but I'm sure that that would be contradicted then by those who feel like it's their way of life that is being threatened. However, for most of those groups, those are either radicalized or fundamentalist groups. They consider modernization, capitalism, certainly secularism, a threat to their way of life and to their faith. More than that, is perceived as an intrusion by the West upon their sovereignty as a nation and what they consider to be I lost my word there. The supremacy of Islam as a faith and the respect that is due to the Prophet Muhammad. So there's an issue there. Additionally, with the threat perception of the West with respect to the Middle East is certainly radicalization. Even the fact that the Middle East has resisted change and reformation and transformation, the United States feels threatened by that. Isn't our way of life a better way? And if not, if you're not accepting our way of life, then you are a contradiction to our way of life. Again, in finances, in faith, a challenge to Christianity. And it's almost exhausting. I've really not wanted to answer this question just because the threats are real because someone believes it. Even if, and I feel like that's where we jam up in this process, that the threat is perceived, but not at the level with which it actually exists, if it exists at all. So yes, it really is a threat, and I think it's because it may not be a threat in the sense of terrorism or something like that, which is where we most often keep our attention, but it's a threat to someone's way of life. It's a threat to what they know. And finally, the third thing that I think is a threat is the issue of oil. Oil obviously not being the threat, but how it is managed. It is a threat in the Middle East, and it is a threat to the Western way of life if it is interrupted, financially for them and economically all the way around for us. So anyway, those are the three areas: capitalism, democracy, and the issue of oil. Additionally, probably all of that is tied somehow to the perceived threat that modernization, democratic reform, and any more influence from the West with respect to oil will lead to degradation of the Islamic faith with an increase in secularization. And yes, that is definitely a real threat.